Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about what I'm pretty sure everyone at this point has heard, even though this is day of news and recording. And it's the Xbox plus Activision Blizzard, and I guess Keen in this, but Activision Blizzard acquisition by Xbox and Microsoft here. Obviously massive news, and that's not just an over-exaggeration or buzzword. It is literally the biggest, gaming deal in the history of, video games. Activision Blizzard, and this is Microsoft's official report on it, just briefly here. It is probably it's the biggest deal in gaming history. Xbox and Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. And when I say bought, both boards of both Microsoft and Activision Blizzard have approved the acquisition, but it's probably going to be about a year until this is 100% fully complete. You got to do some paperwork. You got to pass some regulatory standards and stuff from the government. And once that's all done, which it probably is, very likely it is all going to get done. It'll probably be about a year from now-ish. Looking at June, I think, is the timeline right now for when this is going to be 100% official, and they're going to, officially be under Xbox, Microsoft umbrella. So it's, they've announced the buy, they've agreed to it, there's everything set up. It's just going to take a while, as such a massive, acquisition you would imagine would. So, it is still about a yearish away, but for size, deal this size, it'll probably move fairly quickly. Obviously, you don't have anything else in the gaming industry to compare it to, but it'll be done in about a year, and it is going to be a complete game changer. It already is, honestly, just with the agreement and announcement today. So let's just go over what I was going to do today is just go over some reports. Obviously, I've got two websites and Battle.net pulled up here, and I'm just going to go over some of the implications, some of the news surrounding and involving this, acquisition from Xbox. And there's a lot to cover here, so this might be a longer video, but there's just so much to cover that it's, naturally going to be that way. And first thing, let's address Blizzard or Activision Blizzards. I know there's been some controversies surrounding them recently, and that's obviously not great to have at your company. And I'm sure Xbox got them for less than they would want because of that leverage that they have there. But the fact that Xbox and Microsoft is buying them and they will be managing and owning them gives hope that the workplace culture will improve quite a bit at Activision Blizzard and all of its subsidiary game development companies that are also obviously coming over. So hopefully that improves, which I would imagine it would. And as well as the CEO of Activision Blizzard, Bobby, it looks like he is going to part ways, or really just be bought out of Activision Blizzard in about a year once this deal is finalized. It seems like, from everything that, obviously it's not going to, say this in the official statement or anything, but it looks like it is going to be that way. And there might be some new news come out that says officially that it will be, but it seems like after the year's up and the deal is completely finalized, it seems like Bobby is going to be leaving, or not really leaving, but be bought out for quite a bit of money, obviously. And he will obviously no longer be, micromanaging, I guess it is at that point, Activision Blizzard. Phil's going to be the overall CEO that everyone reports to. I assume we'll replace Bobby with somebody to, manage what he used to do, and then he'll report to Phil. Or maybe not, I don't know. But the important thing is that he's gone, which, if you're confused on why that's a good thing, it's, with all the controversy surrounding Blizzard, it seems like Bobby was at the very least, aware it was all happening, if not very, complicit with it all happening. And so people obviously aren't big fans of that. And hopefully, with his departure, things, can hopefully only improve. So that's some good news there, I guess. And let's talk about some of the gaming aspects of this. This is why you're probably all here, anyways. This is obviously massive. Just by the 6 franchises you see here, this alone, not even including some of the franchises they've left off of the, and some of the franchises and development companies that they've left off of here. All of this is massive news, and it's a massive addition and acquisition for Xbox because with this addition, you're getting some of the best, most famous, popular, and renowned video game franchises, series, some of the best developing studios out there that have made some of the best games of all time and some of the most legendary franchises ever in gaming history. And you're going to own all of them. And, that's obviously a massive deal here. And as far as implications for these games, there's a lot. Like, obviously these games, some of them are offered or, had been, I guess, now on PlayStation. And there's obviously, like stuff like Overwatch, Call of Duty. It's not on here, but, Crash Bandicoot, which is kind of a nice, middle finger to Sony there. That's an added benefit for Xbox because that's kind of a, picture franchise for Sony and PlayStation. And there's even, games like Candy Crush on here, which, mobile game obviously, but it's obviously a massive game. And it's just, yeah, this is the official statement from Blizzard, or from Microsoft. And props to Microsoft and eventually Polygon here. These are the 2 articles I'm using, so credit to them. But yeah, this is their official statement. I won't really read it word for word, but basically just, talks about, we can't wait to, be working with them and the legendary franchises and also, esports through Major League Gaming, which they also bought. They now own that company, so obviously they're going to be getting into the MLG scene a little more than they already have been. They got 10,000 new employees through this. I mean, this is a massive deal. And just to show you what they own now, and this isn't just from this acquisition, but just overall, I mean, they own a massive amount of stuff. And going back into the business part of this, people have been, because they own so much, like they just acquired, or they're planning to acquire Blizzard now, obviously, and they, acquired Bethesda recently. They bought Minecraft a while ago, like, and they obviously have, even without all those, are a big hitting company on their own. And people were saying, is this deal going to go through because of the antitrust laws and stuff in America? To be honest, I wouldn't be worried about it. I don't think this makes them a monopoly or something that an antitrust company would really go after or care about that much. I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem. I do expect the deal to go through, as do most people, it seems like. And yeah, I just don't, obviously this is a massive acquisition and grows them a lot. But there's still a lot of other, competitors out there like Nintendo, PlayStation, and even on PC like Steam. They're not the same company, obviously. So I don't think, and even third party like EA is still massive. That hasn't been bought by any of the major, first party platforms. So I don't see them having any problems passing this. But that's just something people brought up recently. So as far as what they own, you see the stuff that they've had already, like Halo, which is obviously a big 3 in the FPS genre of shooters, and in my opinion, is kind of on top right now because Vanguard's had its share of problems. So that's kind of dipped a little there. And obviously Battlefield not in a great spot either, but Halo Infinite's actually a solid game. I love playing that. And I'd say, yeah, they've got probably, especially with the addition of Call of Duty, dominate the FPS market at this point. They've got Gears of War 2, which is another, storied and legendary franchise or game series. They've obviously got Minecraft, which they acquired for, $2.5 billion a while ago. So, sorry about that. The Predators, Nashville Predators in the NHL just scored there. That's my team, by the way. And then, this is some of the other stuff that they had from when they got Obsidian, as well as some other stuff. They got Hellblade, State of Decay, which is, their thing. I didn't think State of Decay 2 was that good, but it's still a big franchise and series. Couldn't improve. They got Wasteland, they got Double Fine, Obsidian's Adventures, that's the little part on them. And obviously through Bethesda, they got Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, Doom, Doom Eternal, obviously a big hitter, and Elder Scrolls and Fallout haven't done much in a while, but obviously if that gets released, those are massive. Same with Wolfenstein, hasn't done anything in a couple of years at least, but big franchise still. Obviously they got Starfield too coming out soon. I don't know if that's gonna be an exclusive. I can't remember, but if it is, again, assuming it's good, it's still by Bethesda. It's still gonna be a very big game. That's an exclusive for them if it is. Then you go down here to Blizzard, and it leaves some stuff out. Yeah, it's like plus much more. But, big hitters like Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, Warcraft, which, the World of Warcraft plus, the Warcraft, which right now is Warcraft 3 Reforged, but, obviously not that great, but they own that IP now. And, can make games or improve games, so maybe it will be. So, yeah, that's the little thing on them. And, I mean, like, at this point, this edition here, even without it, it's, you got a lot of very impressive lineup here, but this is a game changer for them. And Microsoft, not in this statement, but in other statements, have already said that they're going to try to put as many of these games on Game Pass as possible. I love that idea. I think doing that will make Game Pass a basically must-have service for anyone who plays on Xbox or PC. It's definitely going to be a must-have for most people. And unless you play on exclusively or almost exclusively on Nintendo or PlayStation, then obviously you can't anyways. But yeah. And going into how this affects Nintendo and PlayStation. First of all, I don't think Nintendo has always seemed like a third-party console to me, honestly. And it's like, no disrespect to Nintendo or people who mainly only play Nintendo and their, consoles. But I feel like Nintendo's just been an extra thing there for a while. I know they did well in their sales and everything, and a lot of people have one. But I feel like most people primarily do not play on Nintendo. I could be wrong, speaking on my ass right now, but I feel like that's it. And for the people who do play exclusively on Nintendo, I don't think this changes a whole lot, and I don't think they really care that much. If you're playing exclusively on Nintendo, you're not looking for a lot of these games regardless. And seeing as it's Microsoft who's been acquired, Microsoft isn't that bad about sharing some games with Nintendo every once in a while. So you might still get some of these games anyways. As far as PlayStation, though, PlayStation is where it gets more interesting. Once this deal goes through and moving forward throughout the years, especially if they acquire more, which I mean they could, but after this deal, I think they're gonna wait a second before they make any major moves again. Seeing as they spent damn near $69 billion fucking dollars. Jeez. But yeah, I doubt they're gonna make any major moves. But even this, going forward, once everything's finalized and complete, and then moving forward with whatever they do with this, if they handle it well and play their cards right, I think they've got the ammo now to, dominate the console game for, unless Sony makes some massive moves or does something spectacular. I think they've got the ammo to dominate the console game. I mean, it's just Sony's gonna do what they do if they don't make any moves. Like, I could see them maybe trying to go after EA would be the only other thing comparable to this. And even then, I don't think EA, as big and as, popular as they are, I don't see it being as big of a move. I don't know the market share and all the dollars and everything with comparing these two companies, but I don't see EA being as big of an acquisition as Blizzard or Activision Blizzard. But even if it is, on top of that, they still got Bethesda and Obsidian and, a billion other game companies they bought over the last couple of years. And it's just, assuming they don't do that, Sony doesn't, acquire any big hitters like they haven't as of now. I mean, I see them doing what they did last console cycle and trying to really smash it, hit it out of the park with the console exclusive, like, first party games that they release and go from there. But again, I don't know if that's enough to keep people around or keep people exclusively on your platform. And it's just, like, in my opinion, yeah, the first party exclusives that they hit out of the park, obviously a very big part of keeping them relevant and keeping them winning in the console wars, basically, especially the last generation. But alone, I don't know if it's enough to compete with what Microsoft Xbox at this moment is going to be, throwing at them in competition. Especially because another big draw of the PlayStation was, like, playing Call of Duty or something. I guess Overwatch 2 was on there. Playing those games, like, PlayStation was like the place to play. Like, it'd get released earlier, there'd be exclusive content, stuff like that. But now the tables have turned in those series, and now it's, Microsoft Xbox. You can make those games exclusive to their platform or for a time, and it's just, I don't know if they can compete with that if they don't do something, especially if they don't hit, especially if they don't get, just hit all their exclusive, first party games out of the park this time. If they let up a little bit with how good their games are, they're definitely not. And again, even some of their first party exclusives that, are console sellers for them, how many of them are completely even exclusive to just PlayStation anymore? You're seeing it with, especially PC gamers are seeing it where it's not just PlayStation that you're going to be able to play these things on. You wait a year, however long, which, seems acceptable when, I can wait a year or two and get the PlayStation stuff as well as already have, the PC and Microsoft stuff. But a lot of their games, their first party exclusives are coming to PC, however a year, however long after their release. So they're not even being exclusive to PC or Steam anymore. They're coming to PlayStation anymore. They're coming to PC. So, they're available on other platforms for people to get. And especially if they keep doing that and they don't hit it out of the park this year, maybe, or this generation, I should say, and they don't make any big moves that match this at all, I could definitely see PlayStation falling behind or just getting slaughtered this generation and going forward too, because these companies and studios aren't going anywhere. So let's talk about. So let's move on from PlayStation and Nintendo, competitor effects, and talk about some of the games and the implication with some of the Blizzard games that have been acquired, and what's going to happen with these and everything. So first of all, let's talk about what has actually all been acquired here, just other than the headline games you see here. This goes over some of it too. Like the annual Call of Duty series, Landmark MMO World of Warcraft, Diablo and Overwatch. You've got both due for new releases 2023, which, could be exclusives. Who knows? As I say, nothing like Keen, the mobile game maker behind massively popular franchise like Candy Crush, which Keen is getting kind of overlooked, but Candy Crush is a massively popular and profitable game. And if they're trying to get into the mobile market at all, that's a hell of a way to do it. Also, Hearthstone, which I don't know if they mention it on here anywhere, but Hearthstone is also available on mobile, so they could be definitely making some inroads on there. Then there's Activision Blizzard back catalog includes the remasters, Spyro, another Spyro and Crash Bandicoot here, which are pretty synonymous and big like faces of Sony and PlayStation, which is kind of funny that they bought them now. Basically, they got Tony Hawk, which is a pretty big series and popular series. You've got the company is also one of the last heavy hitters to do licensed non-sports video games. GoldenEye '07, Transformers, Spider-Man, and the Cabela's Outdoor Series, Guitar Hero and Skylanders, which comes, they shut down. And hell, Pitfall. There's a lot of stuff that is mentioned on here that you're getting an absolute shitload of games to make exclusive, to make, on Game Pass, to own their IPs, to develop further games and updates for them that can be exclusive or time exclusive, or like benefits to play on our platform type of shit. I mean, they're just hitting it out of the park. And let's pull up Battle.net here, because there's some stuff they haven't even mentioned yet here, and it's they now own Warzone, which is a massive player and first person shooters, which is tied into Call of Duty. They own Vanguard now, and I guess remastered MW2 campaign, Black Ops 4. They own World of Warcraft, obviously, which is massive. They own Hearthstone, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the biggest online card game out there on the market right now. They've got Diablo series too, obviously, which is another massive franchise that hopefully they'll release a new game that's not fucking mobile exclusive for. They've got Overwatch, which is a massive first-person shooter franchise there, especially when Overwatch 2 comes out whenever. You've got Warcraft in general, Warcraft 3 or 4, it's not a very good game, but whatever. You've got Heroes of the Storm, which I know, not a big hitter, but something worth mentioning. You've got, Crash Bandicoot, which, as we said, again, kind of a big, face of Sony there and PlayStation that now fucking Microsoft Xbox owns and can make exclusive going forward if they want. And obviously, definitely worth mentioning, very big hitter StarCraft down that they own. And knowing their dominance for RTS games with Age of Empires, what is that? Is it Age of Empires or whatever? I'm not a huge fan of that, but very good and distinguished popular series. So RTS, I'm sure they'll do good stuff with StarCraft too. Now that they have, or StarCraft in general, not just StarCraft 2. Now that they have that, so yeah, it's definitely good looking forward. For those games, now that they're under new management, hopefully they won't get mismanaged as badly. And it's just, yeah. And again, a lot of these games are rumored, or not even rumored, but they just straight out said that we'll try to put as many of these games and more games that aren't even listed on here on Game Pass as possible. So I think, yeah, that's why I think Game Pass, on top of the already great service it has, is going to be a must-have moving forward once this gets on here. I mean, Call of Duty could be a Game Pass and an Xbox exclusive, which would be massive. And moving into that, let's just break this down game to game and franchise to franchise, what implications it has for these Blizzard titles, because that's obviously a big deal here. Let's start with Call of Duty, just because it's Call of Duty, Vanguard, and Warzone are top on the list here. As far as Call of Duty, this is probably the biggest implication, across all platforms, probably the biggest well known name and heavy hitter, maybe, competing with World of Warcraft, maybe. But this is a massive, you know, acquisition, on its own. If you just bought Call of Duty and took everything else out, they now own Halo and Call of Duty, two of the three pieces to the three piece meant like three piece atmosphere and FPS gaming right now. They now own. I know Call of Duty with Vanguard's release, been on about a bit of a downward spiral, but obviously maybe that'll turn around. And even if it doesn't, it's still Call of Duty, still a massive franchise that sells, and making that going forward, obviously they have the power to make this exclusive, or if they don't want to make it exclusive, they have the power to make it a timed exclusive or add specific exclusive content to the game that you can only get on Microsoft platforms. Or you could do early releases on Microsoft platforms. It's just, they now basically dominate Call of Duty and own it, and they own Halo, which is probably the best of the big three right now. Obviously, they don't own Battlefield, but the one thing they don't own, Battlefield, is probably the worst and lowest of the big three right now, with how bad they handled the recent Battlefield. It's probably the lowest on the pedestal out of all of them right now. So they own the upper 2/3 of the FPS market, which is a massive market of players to tap into and dominate. I think that was a very good pickup by them. I think I mean, and we're going to be talking about this as we go to different games and different genres, but I think what Xbox does very well right now, or is doing very well right now, is just dominating specific genres of games and just, basically gobbling up that entire niche player base. They're doing it here with FPSs for a lot of the part, and then moving forward, you'll see like RTS, MMOs, card games, like, not to mention that they already basically dominate the racing genre. I mean, it's just, they dominate the racing genre. They dominate, as you can see, you go back to the games, very heavy hitter in the open world and RPG and everything industry there with all these games. They own Minecraft, which is like a sandbox genre, I guess, basically. So they basically dominate that niche. I mean, they're really hitting hard and dominating these industries of games that are basically, not literally almost, but not really literally, but basically dominating these industries and making them. Xbox is the move if you want to play, the top games available in this genre and gobbling up everybody who plays and loves these genres, which I think is a really good move on their part for, dominating the player base. And I think, as far as Game Pass, kind of what can Game Pass do for these games? They released the numbers for how many Game Pass users there are. I think it was like 25 million or something like that. Give or take a few million. That is a massive amount of people to expose to these games. Obviously, a lot of people know or are playing Call of Duty already. But if you aren't, now's the chance too. Obviously, they put it on Game Pass. Same with every other game if they put it on Game Pass. These are being open to a category of 25 million people here who potentially, for some of these games, haven't even heard of them or played them, and now they have a reason to because it's on Game Pass. I might as well. So this could also grow these games and expose them to a massive new genre here and a massive new audience of fans, which I think is good for the games overall. And I think it's, Call of Duty doesn't really have that problem, but especially for some of these other games, getting new eyes and new players on them and, new management is going to be very beneficial for them. And Finishing up the FPS games here, let's talk about Overwatch, which is another Blizzard heavy hitter that they got. Obviously, Overwatch probably is, or definitely is not at its peak right now in 2022, but it's definitely a very popular and well-known franchise, and especially with Overwatch 2 coming out, around the same time as this deal, maybe that's a console exclusive, or not console, hopefully not, but maybe it's a Microsoft exclusive for them, Overwatch 2, which would obviously be a very big hitter for them, and how big Overwatch has been. I think it could definitely be good for the game to get Microsoft and their development team, maybe get some input and changes to Overwatch, because the game has been a little stale and behind development for Overwatch 2 because they keep delaying it. So obviously, hopefully that would improve for everybody considered, all parties there. I think Overwatch, not a part of the big three, but another, key piece of the FPS industry when it's relevant, and another factor, category you're dominating there. Let's go to World of Warcraft. It's classic and retail. Obviously, the game series that in Overwatch 2, I loved Overwatch. Haven't played it in a while, but very good game, very good, series there they got. World of Warcraft now, another massive, like, industry titan game they have, basically. Obviously, I love World of Warcraft. What I'm hoping to God, I'm praying to God that they do, is put World of Warcraft on to at least PC Game Pass, and make it so you can play the game through the, what is it, like $10 subscription for PC Game Pass, or 15 if you got Ultimate. I am hoping to God that happens, because the amount of new players this game would be exposed to would be amazing. On top of that, you're also getting what, you already pay $15 a month basically for World of Warcraft, one game, or I guess a couple of games kind of with Classic. But now if you pay $10 or $15 a month, you not only get World of Warcraft, but a whole host of another all amazing games. And that would be a game changer for Game Pass. I think it made it to a very good and tempting, deal to have, to a must-buy, including all the other games we're adding on this catalog we haven't even got to. I think it's very good for World of Warcraft to have all things considered, and it'll definitely be a positive thing. Hearthstone moving into, the thing is, Hearthstone's already free, so I mean they can put it on Game Pass, I guess, but it's already free, so who cares really? Another thing is, obviously probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, online, card game that they're now tapping into there. I think that's a big move for them. I'm a fan of Hearthstone. I play it occasionally. I think, again, it can only help getting more people into the game, getting more, popularity with it. Also, a good segue for Microsoft into the mobile game industry, along with Candy Crush, because Hearthstone and Candy Crush, obviously two big hitters in the mobile game industry as well. So very good for them if they're really looking to make headway into the mobile game sector. Move on to Diablo, another hard-hitting franchise here. Titan they've got. In Diablo here, again, I think it's good for Diablo to be now, Microsoft game, and potentially, hopefully, probably on Game Pass. I also hope that they'll make a new, Diablo 4, under Microsoft now. I don't care if it's exclusive, because I play on PC and Xbox exclusively. Hopefully it's not, do you guys have phones this time? You guys have phones, right? But hopefully we avoid that. Get Diablo 4 and better manage, I guess, I don't know. I guess better manage the current Diablos, but I'm really just looking forward to Diablo 4. Plus, it'd be cool to have Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 resurrected on Game Pass, where you don't have to buy them separately. But yeah, good to get new players into the game, get new management, Hopefully, mobile game announcements, new PC game or console game announcement, and yeah, Diablo very good for both parties. I think. Moving on, Warcraft. I kind of touched on this in World of Warcraft, but they now own that whole thing and the IP and everything. Again, only good for both parties. I think. Although Warcraft 3 Reforged is not a great game, get more players into the genre and universe, I guess, of Warcraft. Hopefully, improve the IP and the games they release with it going forward, and better manage them than Activision Blizzard did, which I think they have more incentive to, especially long term. That being Microsoft, Xbox, and thinking more long term than these guys are, not just short term profits. And that goes for basically every game here. It's also funny to think that, especially with World of Warcraft Edition, what is it? Microsoft is now like a titan, if not the leading, guys when it comes to MMORPGs. They've got obviously World of Warcraft now, but on top of that, what do they own? I don't know if they own Elder Scrolls Online. I can't remember who made them, but if they own that, I know it's available on their platforms at the very least. But even if it's not available, I think it definitely is available. Even if it's not owned by them, it's still available on there anyways. But especially if they own them, yeah, they're definitely a very heavy hitter. If not like top dogs in the MMO industry now, which was kind of weird to see. I'm going down the list. We'll touch on Heroes of the Storm real quick. Obviously, it's like top 5 in MOBAs, but that's obviously behind games like League of Legends, Dota 2. I think it's behind Smite, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 3 or 4, basically, as far as MOBAs, if I'm not missing anybody that I can't recall if I am, but I don't believe I am. It's supposed to be 3 to like 5 or something. As far as MOBA rankings go, not a huge game, but kind of a unique, interesting game and IP there. Well, a game made of other IPs that they own. And, good MOBA to get, I know Smite's available on there too, so this is another good MOBA for them to have on their platform, and in this case, own. But all things considered, I think it's good for both parties for them. They get more players, more publicity, and hopefully better management. You know. So let's go to StarCraft now. RTS time. I like the StarCraft franchise. Haven't played in a long time, but I've always enjoyed the games and the series. And RTS, obviously, they're now getting another massive piece of the puzzle in that industry with StarCraft here. So I think they kind of dominate that industry there, which is good to have those niche industries gobbled up. Hopefully they continue to manage them well, and I hope this gets a lot of new people into StarCraft. And going forward, I hope they make very good StarCraft games and keep growing the series as well as how many people play it. So I think both parties considered a very good game or a very good deal. Let's get to the last one we're going to mention as far as the big hitters was Crash Bandicoot. Ironically, a pretty poster child-ish game for Sony PlayStation. Now going to be owned by Microsoft and Xbox through Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. For fans of Activision Blizzard and Xbox Microsoft, or Microsoft Xbox, I guess. Good deal here. Kind of a middle finger, I guess. Added benefits, stealing Crash Bandicoot from I think Spyro too, from PlayStation. They're a little added benefit for Microsoft. Plus, these games obviously very popular and well-known games. I can't tell the future, but hopefully the game's managed well. Hopefully they make new good games, even if they are exclusive. And hopefully a lot of more people will get into these games because of the publicity they'll get and the new user bases they'll be exposed to through Game Pass and everything. So again, a good deal, especially for Xbox, Microsoft, but a good deal for both, I think. So yeah, implications. I think it's a win-win situation here for both Activision Blizzard and their games, as well as Microsoft Xbox. I think it's a win for the gamers and consumers of PC gaming and console gaming as long as you're on Xbox. I think you're winning in all three unless you're basically a PlayStation 4 or 5 exclusive player. In that case, you could be losing, but if you look at it, it could just be a neutral thing to you, depending on how much you really care about some of these games and how much you're missing out on potentially, which we haven't really seen how they're going to handle this game. We'll obviously see more moving forward and when they're officially acquired, but obviously very bright future and very big accusation for Microsoft and Xbox here with Activision Blizzard. So yeah, high hopes for this. I'm very excited to see what this does going forward here. And that basically wraps up the overall overview of everything that happened and my thoughts and opinions and the information of some stuff. I might do a little more personalized deep dive in the specific series or games and what I'd like to see happen with them and what are the implications for specifically that game. But this was a general overview for the entire deal. I tried to cover a lot of stuff here as fast as I could. Hope you guys learned something or were informed here. Hope you found it interesting. Hope you're as excited for this, barring PlayStation exclusive fans maybe, as I am. And comment down below. Tell me what you think about the acquisition and what this means for the games and the gaming industry and consumers and gamers as a whole in the comments. And see you guys in the next video.